that for a long time. Okay?
How come you do that? I don't like that.
Well, I got it. Hey, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay? I'm trying to
what I'm
explain
saying?
to you what happened. Okay?
Yeah.
I've been talking to people for 20 years about shit like this. It was way off the charts a long time ago. And I develop patterns when I do public speaking or when I talk to people when I'm engaged in these kinds of activities to try to soften the blow.
Yeah, it's not working for you anymore.
No, I got it.
Okay. Thank you.
I got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, really, that's good for me to know.
You're welcome. And one of the reasons that it's maddening is that it also enables the permission structure to say, oh, you can say things, but none of it really matters.
Well, no, but that doesn't mean it doesn't matter, though. That doesn't mean it doesn't matter.
Well, for you to say, I say this, but I don't really believe it.
Oh, no, I know.
That's
I know. I just need to say that at the beginning.
It creates a permission structure for others to do the same.
Well, but everybody has the right to do exactly the same. That's exactly the point. Because everyone is in precisely the same position, but they're pretending they're not. They're pretending they're telling you the truth, the way it really is, not just their story.
I'm not pretending. I really am telling you the truth.
Ah, good. Thank you, Rodrigo. Now, the real Rodrigo is showing up tonight.
So, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to respond actually to you talking about the dangers of this, and again, you're absolutely right. Most human beings are not ready for this. You know, the kind of world I see coming is really going to require a different kind of human being, one who is no longer entranced by the voice in their head.
Okay.
And I'm expecting that to happen. And if that doesn't happen, I expect the collapse of civilization or something close to that.
Okay. Well, that's some of the predictions, and that's like an example of one of the strong statements that you make.
Yeah.
That I want to examine just the very like in that
Cool.
philosophical. So, what is it to have a story that one doesn't believe?
I don't know. The thing is, I don't believe, I make assumptions. And I don't see the need for believing anything. I mean, I don't get it. I make a lot of assumptions about, I go out, when I stick my key in the ignition, I expect the car to start. It usually does. It's a good expectation that I have.
Is one of your assumptions that you make that the story is true?
I mean, really, that's good for me to know. No, not that it's true. No, again, because I don't use the verb to be when I'm trying to be accurate. I'd say whether it's useful or not. Whether this math, using this math leads to results that I intend. That was good.
I say this, but I don't really believe it. Yeah. So the utility or the pragmatic application of the story.
I can't imagine what other. Well, then there's poetry to it. I mean, there are other ways we use language. No, but for what I'm interested in my work, no, I'm interested in problem solving and analysis, and that's what this is all about.
So, does truth have a place in the story?
No, not that word. How do you judge a map? The usefulness of a map. Say a topo map, okay, with 20-foot elevations. You could have a topo map with 5-foot elevations. that would be more expensive. Anyway, there are lots of maps.
So, aside from the map, and I get that the map is the representation of reality and not reality.
Not reality. No. It's a representation
There's
of
a relationship.
Well, no, not reality. Again, it depends on what you mean by reality. I suspect you're still talking about some objective out there reality. When I use the word reality, I mean whatever it is I'm experiencing. My immediate sensory experience. That's where these maps are tested.
So how do you judge if it's useful?
Experience, you make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, this is where age comes. This is why I don't take anybody under 50 seriously. Because you haven't made enough mistakes to see what an idiot you are yet.
So is it useful to judge it yourself? Is it only the single person judging?
Well, it's the one that counts.
Utility?
But you know, I usually try to get as much data as I can, but you never get enough. I mean, there's no way. Ultimately, you never have enough information. You always have to make a decision. You know, it's some sort of leap of faith. I mean, not always, but you know, you never know. You just I guess see, that's one of the things that's really changed in my life in my mid-60s was when I actually began to get comfortable with not knowing everything. It used to piss me off. You know, I wanted to understand everything, and I didn't, and it pissed me off. Now, you know, I finally accepted, well, I don't know.
Do you know some things? Are there some things that you know?
Oh, well, I've got a lot of experience. I've got a lot of theories. I've got a lot of stories. I'm here still. I'm happy. So apparently it's working.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're happy. That's all good. Like I appreciate that. And I think still the question under examination is the how you are evaluating those judgments. Like how do you evaluate?
Are we talking about?
If you're, what's that?
Which judgments are we talking about here?
Like if you evaluate something as for its utility, for its use, if you evaluate a concept or a map for its use, how are you evaluating it? On what basis?
Well, it depends on what domain we might be operating in. I think music and art and sports.
Okay.
There's a million things that are in play here.
So, are there standards? That's what I'm getting at. Like, is there a standard against which you would judge it to be good or bad?
Judge what?
Successful, not successful.
What? Judge what?
Judge the.
Because I'm capable of making judgments in some domains and totally incompetent in many others. So, but if you're talking about art, I mean, that's another thing, but that's quite different than making, well, there's so many judgments.
I know something that there is a truth about, like that there, that you would say this is useful, like, you know, I'm putting in a shelf and I need to get the right length, and so I measure it, and then go get the piece of wood, and it fits.
Yeah,
so that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is, well, it's simple in that domain. I mean, we got that one down pretty good. Engineering and all that shit, we've had, that's one of the things that's.
Or like even let's take a map, like a subway map.
Yeah.
I go to
This
New
guy is the
York and I
crankiest,
want to get
most
from
argumentative, angry person,
Astoria to the
and
village,
nobody can understand what he's
so I
trying
look
to
at the map,
express.
and it works.
But he's got a
And
doomsday
so,
attitude about
so
everything. keep thinking the world is gonna fall apart, because guess what?
Right?
You are falling apart, but the world is not falling apart. The world is only transforming,
Yeah.
just like us.
So let's talk about the successful
I give
ones.
you
Is there a
Heron
standard
Stone
by
versus
which-
Free
Very
Your
good. Is there a
Time
standard
with
by which-
the philosopher
We're just beginning
Rodrigo.
as humans to starting to ask the right questions like that. I don't think, I mean, even the science of linguistics is almost barely a century old. We're just beginning to take a look at what's going on here and what's possible. It took 200 years between Volta creating the first battery and
Let's say we're not just beginning to learn that the subway map works. Let's say it works. It works and it's worked for the past 50 years
yeah.
that it's been up there. So why is that hard? Like, why
Why is that what?
is that hard to just have?
I don't see what. Did I say? I don't know why you're asking me that question. That's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. It'd be stupid not to do something like that.
So, what is the standard that you would use to
Back
judge?
to the standards.
Whether it works, whether people get confused by it, or complaining about it and pissed off, or whether everything flows smoothly and it works.
So that's how we know that it's working.
Well, yeah. How else would you know?
So there is a way to know.
Well, certain kinds of situations, yes.
So the
And again, remember, we're all
usefulness is measured by truth, that it matches, that it works.
When you insist on using those words, I can account for all this stuff and not need the word truth. It's just irrelevant.
Okay.
Again, it's like topo map and street map. If you got a topo map and someone's talking about 4th Street, it's not on that map. Okay, it's a topo map.
So I think that when I spoke about how I see dangers involved in relativism,
Yes, absolutely.
and
There's
in
dangers
the
involved with everything.
and in the reluctance to speak of right and wrong, truth or false, or correspondence to truth, correspondence to reality.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I find it concerning or dangerous is when the discussion just ends on topics that are consequential, that people simply back away from truth or what's right and refuse to engage and say, well, it's right for me, it's right for you, we have different rights, we have different customs, we have different traditions, we come from different places, different belief systems, and so there's no matching these things. It's all very much just my story, your story, and there's no point in matching, but until there is, there is some arenas where it is consequential, but because we have persistently insisted that there's no right or wrong, or good or bad, we can, there is no way to proceed. There's no way to then judge anything.
No, I agree.
That's the danger.
Yeah, I agree. It's over for Homo sapiens.
What?
We need a new people. 90%.
So you think it's worth reinstituting a way of judging? Do you think that that's
No,
a
I don't
worthy
think
project?
there's no need to judge anybody. It will work itself out. There's no judgment needed. Things are changing. some people are going to survive, and some people are not. And in the long run, it may take a century for the whole thing to get worked out, but Homo sapiens is about to disappear, and Lisa Terrai is about to appear, is appearing already. You know, and there's, nobody knows how this is going to play out. This is just a story I made up, but it's the best one I found. So. Unless you can give me a better one, if I can find a better story, I'll go with that.
Well, I don't have.
I have a better story.
Right, yeah.
You're not gonna like it, so I'll leave it there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Rodrigo, you're just the kind of person who, I'm just going to let you know, I know the most offensive joke in the world, I think. I don't think there is a more offensive joke. And I just wrote it out the other day. I've only told it twice in my life. And I'm not sure I'm going to distribute it. But I'm thinking if there's anyone around who can handle it, I'm sure it's you. If you're interested,
Do it.
well, I want you to message me.
Oh, no, come on. Just tell it. Here, no.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
tell a joke. Come on, it's a joke.
You can handle it. I can handle it.
No, but I
I can
can't.
handle it.
But
I can't.
we're all over 50.
No, it's not going to happen. It takes too much
You
to
thought
tell
that
it.
you could handle it.
Listen, let me tell you something. To tell it properly, you have to be an actor. You have to be in the mood and be in the energy of an actor to tell a joke properly. And I can do that, but I'm not in now, and I don't want to be in that place right now.
Then just send it to me, and I'll deliver it right now.
No, we're not going to do it. Rodrigo, get the fuck off the stage.
What are you putting
What a tease.
No, I offered to send it to you.
All right, please do.
Okay.
And then deliver it.
No, I'm not going to send it until after we're done here.
That isn't a fair tease. You big tease.
No, I know it. I apologize, but what can I say? I just went, like I say, I've already told the joke.
Now you're ruining it. It's sure not going to get a laugh because you completely backpedaled. Tell us at least
All right,
like
I'll
what.
tell you the joke since we're to prime. You ready, bro?
Yeah.
It's an old bachelor is on his way home. I told you this, right? An old bachelor is on his way home and he sees a frog on the side of the road and it starts talking to him. And you think, oh, that's interesting. Picks up the frog and the frog says, oh, thank God you picked me up. You know, I'm actually a princess and I'm very wealthy. And I'm stuck here being a frog, but thank goodness you found me and you're kind of cute. You're kind of cute. I think we can really make a go of it. You know, wouldn't you like to be married to a wealthy person? I think we'd be a great couple. All you have to do is kiss me and I'll become a beautiful young woman. And what do you say? And he says, you know, it's very enticing, but I don't know. I think at this point I prefer a talking frog.
Smart man. Of course, she could fuck him over and just shut up.
So you're single too, Aaron? You're a single guy?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not only single, I'm a hermit.
So never any interest in the coupling life?
I'm 80. I've been there, done that. I was a hippie. It was sex, drugs, rock and roll, and epistemology for like 30 years. Yeah.
Ribono
I don't have anything against it. If it ever shows up again, you never know what's going to happen. But, I don't have any interest or energy in that direction.
When I was 25, I had a friend who was in his 70s. And it was a long distance. I was living in Boston downtown, and he was in a very tiny village somewhere in South Carolina. But he was very cultured. He had lived in Manhattan for many years. And at some point I asked him, hey, are you happy out there? Wouldn't you want to live in New York or Boston or something like that? And he said, I've done that. You'll understand.
I think it's different for everybody. I can see, you know, some people stay in the city, and it's right for them. They just blossom there, you know. And other people go, you know, Georgia O'Keeffe, the painter, God, she's such a, I love her. She was awesome.
I also know her museum in San Jose.
Yeah, yeah. and her famous love life too. Yeah, she was awesome.
Mhm. So, was she also single?
Well, she was a hermit. She lived out in the desert by herself.
Yes.
But she had an assistant. She had several assistants.
Gentiles and make them be everybody.
Praise the Lord, Hebrew brothers. After dark, prayers are intercessor.
Oh my goodness.
And holy convocation, you shall do no work therein. It is a Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. These are the.
We just don't talk about what actually, there was a lot of work. I mean,
I know, but in terms of me,
you gotta
that's all I think about.
days off.
For the holidays, for me, that's all I think about is work, because that's all I do.
That is true. I mean, in service industry, anything, you're gonna have work on holidays. It's always a thing. But that's what I mean. Like, I don't get a chance to enjoy. You know what I mean? It's like,
who's that person?
Oh, hey everybody, what are the best life hacks you can share with me right now?
Please.
No, and no.
I've got some great life hacks for you. Don't forget to buy the baby wipes. Also get a tongue scraper, and don't forget to get a water pick and floss every night.
We have a dummy. You want me to do it?
Yes?
No, he can stay.
Okay, fine.
But there was a black-owned bus company that called the leaders and said, "Hey, we can bring some bus."
It was black owned?
Yes, it was.
What made it black?
A lot longer than they did in the first place, But those things were rejected by some of the leaders.
It's because it's a scam. In Evanston, Illinois, where they're taxing all the cannabis, 500 people have gotten $30,000. 500 American citizens have gotten $30,000 each because they are the descendants of slaves. Now, I ask you, why are they entitled to my tax money for my cannabis?
That would be the enslaved.
I'm just saying it's ridiculous that 300 people who we live with can get $30,000 of my tax dollars.
I loved her. She was awesome.
Well, if Argentina can get as many billions as they just did, you might want to worry about that.
Sounds like white Illinoisans have a class action lawsuit against their government. They feel like they're being improperly taxed for the money that essentially is going to the descendants of the enslaved in Evanston. Either way it goes, it was just a test market anyway, and they didn't even pay off the whole of the small city. But if you feel like you've been wronged, it's not just your right, but kind of your obligation to take it to court.
Fuck that shit. I want justice now. This is anti-constitutional. I want a goddamn green bean, you fascist, terrorist, domestic, liberal, Democrat, fascist, communist, socialists.
What I will do though is hold on a second. Let's make a new rule for tonight. If you have a penis, no green bean for you. Just for the rest of the night, okay? Because I think that'll lead to a better room. So my question, Nubia, is this: it's twofold. One, what type of tax system would you choose? Like flat tax across the board, or like a scaling tax based on revenue? And if so, where would you cap it? And my second question, and not just to you, Nubia, to anyone, my second question is: do you think it would be good for taxpayers to be able to choose what government initiatives they want their tax dollars to go towards?
So, I like what FDR did with the wealth tax. I definitely think a percentage across the board, no matter the wealth disparity. I kind of like things the way they are from an economic apparatus, from perspective of our economic apparatus. But I do think for, maybe funding wars or like FDR did, I do think, I mean, it almost got murdered, but I do think there should be maybe a separate tax for the wealthy, especially in times of when this nation, needs to fund some bullshit. And I think our existing system, we participate in the choices that are made. That's kind of what our presidential elections do. I feel like if you don't want to vote for, specific nationwide wars against other nations, then you vote for somebody who doesn't support that kind of thing. I feel like we do that already. I mean, I'm not someone who particularly sees many things that I want to change. I just want them to operate properly, and I want us to more widely participate in them.
Everybody else respond before I blow up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with what was just said too. Because, I mean, we have referendums, we vote on those things, but I also believe that there's taxation without representation. For example, I don't have children. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck are my taxes going for schools?
Big
We should all have the
surprise!
same analogy in terms of why are my taxes going here or there when it does zero for me. But it's just a part of the structure of our
Nora
society. And so
Bandora?
it's what we do.
The
People don't have equal
Bandora?
protections like the LGBTQ community, but you want them to pay taxes. So, my thing is, equity if nothing else. If you don't want to fucking give me rights like everybody else, or if you don't, if I don't have what this person has or I can't, then don't tax me. Just don't collect my taxes and it's cool. And even if that came in the form of reparations, that works too.
I'm going to try to be really succinct. So before 1971, let's take World War II, right? Right before America joined World War II, there was a sold-out Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden. America literally turned away boatloads of Jewish refugees. Boatloads. And sent them back. Some of them had to go back to Germany and ended up dying in concentration camps. And why?
No!
Cost money. During the World War II, England sent all of their gold secretly to Canada to hide it under a bank in Montreal. The Germans took London and got that gold. They would not be able to fund their resistance. It cost money to go to war. So America was really hesitant to go to war.
Jeremy, they could have just issued greenbacks like Abraham Lincoln and fought the war with government dollars as opposed to bank dollars.
And that's the butterfly where I was trying to get to, right? Is that after that, when they moved off the gold standard, also France sent a warship and said, bitch, give us our gold back now. Because you're moving off the gold standard. And so now when your dollar isn't supported by real something of value, but instead of how big your guns are, and a secret deal with Saudi Arabia to force everyone to buy oil in USD, all of a sudden you're going into all sorts of wars. Because that justifies printing money to build a massive military. America spends 10 times like the next 10 nations in line on military spending. Does not add up to how much America spends themselves on their military, but pretty much the same outcomes of those other countries. Now, my other fits, right, is that when you have half of your country saying that the other half is the biggest threat to your democracy, right? When you have the rich saying, I don't give a fuck about the poor, and the poor saying, like, and guess what? What's the one thing that your most divisive politics in the world really get together and vote together on every single year, multiple times a year? I'll give you a hint. It just happened. It's passing an unbalanced budget. Printing money that isn't there. So that's the real question. Why the fuck should I pay taxes when you guys can print an unbalanced budget to how the fuck you want?
You know, Madison, I want to apologize for his profanity and vulgarity, but Madison, don't take this guy too seriously. He's delusional. He thinks Satoshi works for him in his Bitcoin company. Okay, Madison? Ribono shalala. Ribono shalala. Ribono shalala.
Slade and Butterfly, you got that horribly wrong. Also, Bitcoin pilgrims, man. So do think you like white guys like me, because clearly this is not a big deal. But also, nuanced, intelligent conversations tend to run children. So I love this conversation tonight, regardless of the side you threw out. I just want to throw that out there.
You've been having the same conversation for years, Jeremy. Get over it.
I just say don't be a regular Joe and just don't buy into the system as it exists. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, if they can print money whenever they sneeze. The tax bills are just crazy. I mean, and even what's so wild is that it took this current administration to actually expose some of what we already knew. I was shocked at how much of America didn't realize that there were tax loopholes. I was absolutely shocked. I was just like, y'all don't know this? Like, for real, for real? I've learned some of these things since I was 16 years old. But then there were people who actually thought that the penal system was fair. So, I digress.
Double click on that, right? Now, instead of not getting messy a bit, because, I mean, there's two. I can start with either one. I'm going to flip a coin. So the prison system, modern day slavery, right? The laws that shaped and decided what drugs were bad and which ones could be consumed by super duper white housewives who, you know, like, how do I pass the day? Opium or heroin or Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? But like, the second black people could buy it or access it, it's like, what? Wait, you're telling me it's in cans now? It's in non-white only stores instead of just the fountain shop in the farm? Oh shit, that's illegal. Marijuana, yeah, I could go on and on.
Well, I mean, it's disparity in sentencing laws with crack cocaine. I mean, I lived through it. I remember watching the C-SPAN hearings. You should, I don't know if you've seen 13th by Ava DuVernay on Netflix. Also, another one of her pieces is called Origin. You might find them very interesting.
Two more tabs. What's up? To update you, Kappa, we've got a no penis green bean rule going on tonight, so we'll just try and keep that enforced.
Hey, Jeremy, I'm just wondering, do you ever pray or meditate to a higher source, higher power, intelligence, or do you just sit here and talk about the Federal Reserve, dollars and gold? I mean, are you afraid, Jeremy? And are you trying to instill fear in other people? Look at your PTR, a shadow man, a shadowy figure, possibly dark and evil. I mean, do you have good intentions, Jeremy? Shirley Steinberg's here!
Pray to a higher power.
Holy Ribono Shalom! Long time, Schmoling! I love the
I
payas!
have a cloaked figure in my PTR, because I believe that privacy isn't
Shalom Aleichem Ribono Shalom!
should be forced.
Yitzchak listening in thy
And I have nothing but good intentions. And while I'm open to conversations and diving into nuances and
I'm talking to Jeremy, an anti-Semite in Canada, trying to convert him to the Zionist cause.
and say
And
things
of all out of likes on
either
Bumble.
entertain me, but also even if it entertains me, I genuinely believe it. So if I say, hey, Butterfly, if you're a white guy, you might have smelly legs because you probably don't have a washcloth, and if you do, you don't know how to use it proper.
Well, you get a bucket with a stick and a rag and a bar of soap, Jeremy.
Wait, well, that may be funny for some people, for me as well. It's also, I think, true, just anecdotally, because I'm a white guy. And anyways, hold on, before we get messy, Butterfly, do you agree that laughingly calling a white person a cracker has nothing to do with a white person using the N-word? And I'm sorry if this is too messy, guys. It's late. It's demon hour. I'm sorry.
I don't know what the F you're talking about, but maybe if you were an adult and you had some intelligent conversation as opposed to being a child, you know, you're very immature, and I'm sure I'm not the first person who's ever told you that.
All criticism, by the way. All that. And if Cora was here, she would tell me about the Dunning-Keurig, and I know Keurig is a coffee machine, but the anti-Dunning-Keurig effect, God damn it. Ma'am Danny? Did I at least say Ma'am Dammy right, Christina? Ma'am Danny?
Donnie.
myself so much right now.
Kill yourself.
Burger, thank you. Thank you.
You're a midway
Alright. You know what?
Tatina, welcome to the roast of Jeremy. He doesn't even know he's getting roasted.
White guy should have been way in there. I'm so sorry.
So you're Canadian, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm the worst guy. Well, I'm the worst guy. There's so many more worst kind of Canadians than me.
I'm from Detroit, so I spent time in Canada growing up. Yeah,
Nice.
Leamington and Stratford and
You're one of those,
Point
one of those rare Americans that actually know what cold really is. Like, what really is. Yes. So let me ask a messy question, right? Someone put this thought experiment to me, and I don't know how much you know about Indigenous people in Canada, but a lot of them still live second quality life, and the reason why is different, a little bit different than I think the disparity of minorities in America versus Indigenous people in Canada, but like. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because you know this probably better than I do, but basically, horrific shit happened, massive disparity because of white man, and then there was almost a flip where there was this idea of like, because of white guilt and everything that happened, it was just like, well, you guys just govern yourself. But because of the horrific things, literally a generation of kids who were ripped away from their parents and didn't experience good parenting and all the repercussions of that and all the repercussions of the racism of the Indigenous people, just saying, hey, here it is, you guys just take care of it, here's money, led to a lot of horrible shit and also a disparity of quality of life on the reserves, in some reserves versus others. And so someone asked it.
It's a very messy question, Jeremy. I can't follow along on this incredible sandwich, but can you get to the mustard?
So going back to the reparations question, right? Someone asked me, hey, if you gave every Indigenous Canadian $1 million, but they had to give up their Indigenous rights and become
No, this is a live room, T.A. Tina. I'm in former Talking Apes League. And Christina, you've been blocked, T.A. Tina, because you've been considered an undesirable by the censors.
And the answers that I've heard to that question are insane. From like white people saying, well, they don't know how to use $1 million.
Yes, T.A. Tina.
You know, like from a place of privilege.
It's a theory.
To Indigenous people saying, no, $1 million to give up my Indigenous rights.
Otherwise, why wouldn't you be in the Talking Apes League right now?
The Canadian government.
Instead, you're in my music room.
And I guess, reparations.
I'm sorry, Jeremy, but is there a question attached to this rambling?
Why am I in here? Because I don't
The question is, and I think you maybe answered this earlier, is that if reparations were paid out, I think the idea would be like, okay, no more like, oh, racism, no more, no, that's it. You got your paycheck, that's it.
You sound like you have no love in your life. When was the last time you actually took a woman out on a date?
Who, me?
Not you, Jeremy.
There's a lot of projection going on.
That's not projection. This is man to man. And when men are speaking, please remain silent.
Yeah, right, not me.
Well, I mean, part of it, to your point, Jeremy, is part of it is this. Here's the bottom line. If it's a debt, it shouldn't be anybody's fucking business what's done with it. Because just imagine if you had an ancestor who toiled and built something, right? And left you something because they through their work. Somebody said, nah, you might not know what to do with it. And I mean, the indigenous side of the business, for Black Americans, we have a history of success in terms of the things that we've done. So, and repair is in the word reparation. So it's not just random money. It's land access, it's tax credits, education guarantees. There are other things that go along. But the thing is, once we build our wealth, just don't drop bombs on us. You know what I'm saying? It's a case for segregation, actually. Because every time we've been segregated and we had thriving communities, then we were sought out for some reason. It's like, God damn, just leave us alone. know, I mean, when you look at, like, it's probably every 20, so, you know, there was heroin in the 60s and the 80s, it was crack, you know, now it's fentanyl, and before that it was just straight up, just Tulsa, Wilmington, Rosewood, you know, Central Park used to be a place called Seneca Village, and it was a black neighborhood. So yeah, just don't build parks and freeways and shit through all of our stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like the people who just won money for Bruce's Beach, where they had a whole beach set aside, and then the city of Santa Monica just took it, eminent domain. So I mean, I think, you know, if that type of stuff stops, I think we'll be cool. I don't think there's anything to worry about. And as a matter of fact, it would, you know, for all the ones who think that we, you know, all the trillions of dollars that we spend on frivolous shit, at least it'll boost the economy if nothing else. We, you know, if we're out there buying Jordans and shit and all that other stuff, hey, it's right?
Oh, let me get messy.
You're already messy, Jeremy. And why do you keep talking like you're, you know, what's the point of doing this messy thing? Just say what you want to say. Nobody cares how messy you are, Jeremy.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna take the green bean here and say we've been patient enough, and like no account of like amount of self-moderation or thought is meaning anything. So I'm just gonna move the food right on out the room.
Ask question.
She kicked me. Sensol. That must be T-18's antagonist, T-18. Now I know why you're here, because you're getting kicked from rooms like that too, from these green bean censors. These fascists, communists, socialists, censors.
Matter of fact, you can go on my website now. You can find my book out there on Amazon.
You got an Amazon book?
I'm not scared, though.
Of course, y'all freaky.
For which domain you're in, though. Or maybe not always, but in certain cases it's fundamental.
But you can't remember what domain you're in if you don't know ever to begin with what domain you're in.
Oh yeah, you have to think about this shit.
But you can't if you can't distinguish between discovery and invention. If you don't know whether you've made it all up, you don't know whether you've discovered anything.
Oh, I don't know. You know, talking with you, you're magic, man. You can confuse things so quickly and still make it sound like you know what
There's
it's
a fine line.
No, it's true.
Wait,
Okay.
Wait, there's a
Let
fine
me go
line.
first.
No, there's a fine line between confusion and unexpected and undesired clarity. That's all.
Touche. You know, you're better at this game than I am, Rodrigo, so I'm not.
The beauty of it is I'm not even playing it.
No, that's whatever. That's your, that right, yeah, bro. So, and I don't think that's your only story.
It is, actually.
Yeah, right.
So, Rodrigo, can you back up
Sure.
a little bit? So, when you say that there is a way to discern or distinguish between discovery and invention, what is that? Like, how do we do that? On your account.
On my account, first
I just threw that in as a relativist nod to get people to listen, but like, how do you do that? How do we do that?
Right. Well, first you must distinguish between your beliefs and the reality that you're.
Welcome to the Jewish News, everybody. Hit that like button and subscribe. This is an independent Jewish news broadcast brought to you by the Zionist brothers and sisters of the universe.
Perception is when your beliefs are caused by the reality.
This is our court philosopher, Rodrigo, trying to explain to everybody how words work.
On perception, like intuition or knowledge or things of that nature.
Knowledge.
And invention is
Nature.
action.
Inventions.
Things of the same sort, like creativity or behavior. So
Creativity.
But notice that you
Behavior.
distinguish between action and perception.
Action. Perception.
Distinguish
Distinguish.
between object.
Subject.
Mind
Object.
and world. Between self and reality. So it's just not an open, it's not a decision that's available to someone for whom everything is just experiences.
What?
So
Hello?
if someone believes everything is experiences, then everything falls in the subjective side of the line. There's nothing on the other side.
That's right. Or at least nothing that one knows about or can say anything about or can talk about.
I see. Okay. That made sense to me, and you did go very fast. And I just want to check in with Heron. Did that make sense to you?
What?